Hey there again, Tailgate Talk fans. Our little project today, and I think this will be a quick one, is replacing the seats and springs in this Delta faucet, and we're also going to do the O-rings. And really, typical reason you're going to do this is drippy faucet. I've already done the one on this side. This is the one that was actually dripping, but we'll make a quick video on how to do this side. And we'll just kind of do it step by step, show you the tools that you'll need. And so let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is go under your sink and turn off the water source. So you can either do this under your sink or go to your main water valve under your house, in your basement, at the street, wherever that is, and turn that off. So the next thing we want to do is, and this is a detail that most people forget, close this drain, because there's going to be some little pieces in here, and if you drop them, they're gone bye-bye, and then you got to take your trap apart. So typical, you got a little cover here. You're going to pop this off. Usually you can do it with your fingernail or maybe a really small screwdriver. And then the next thing you're going to do is, as you can see, there's a Phillips head down in there. We're going to loosen that, and I may have to cut away here. I'm a one-man camera, so I'm gonna hold this with one hand and then loosen that screw with the other hand. Okay, so when I cut away to that scene, I remembered that I had given my daughter a little tripod a couple of Christmases ago, so I went and got that. So got the camera on a tripod now. So as you can see, the handle comes off, a little screw inside. Again, drain closed so you don't lose that. And then I'm going to get in a little closer here. You'll see that there's a collar on this thing, a nut. So the next thing is to get that off. And you could use anything from channel locks to an adjustable wrench. I like the adjustable wrench just simply because I can get it the exact size and get this thing loose. So let me get that to the exact size. And lefty loosey, righty tighty, correct? So we'll go counterclockwise, get that loose, and then we can simply take this on off with our hands. So again, this a nut collar thing. So again, the water's off, but as we pull this next piece out, there may be a little bit of water pressure there. So we may have a little water come out once we pop that. So not much water, but as you can see, this piece comes out here. One thing to remember, as you can see, it's got a little flange on that side. So you'll want, when you go put it back together, you'll want to put it back in the correct way. You can easily get it turned the wrong way, but in this design here, this flange will be on the faucet side. So here's the first piece we're going to replace. We're going to replace this O-ring here, and then down in here, hopefully you can see this with enough light, there is another little piece down in here. Let's see if I can get that out. Now I have a pair of forceps. So that's our next, that's our what's called the seat. So that's the seat and spring. So there's also a spring down in there. And that's what shuts the water off. When you turn that handle, it puts pressure on that and shuts that off. So you've got three pieces we're going to replace: this O-ring, the seat, and the spring. So I'm going to cut away here for a moment, get those pieces out, and then we'll come back to actually putting it together. Okay, so I've got my old pieces here, and I've got my new pieces here. Just obviously be careful not to get those mixed up. So we'll start by getting this O-ring off, and this can be a little tricky. Either good fingernails, or might have to use my forceps to actually get that going. And yeah, it is on there tight. Let's see what I got here. And we can use my forceps. You can do this with a screwdriver as well. So see, I was able to get my forceps in there and pop that off. And typically the easiest thing to do is go off the bottom of this piece here. Oh, don't want it to come completely apart. Get the O-ring off. A little tricky there, so get that out of the way. Again, don't get it mixed up with your new one. Get the new one. A lot easier to put on. It's a lot more pliable because it's new. The older ones get dry rotted and get stiff, so that actually is part of the problem with the leakage. So easy enough. Just get that back on there, and there's a little groove it goes in. So as you can see there, it goes in that little groove there. All right, so that piece is done. And then again, these are the old pieces, so let's get those out of the way. And here's our new pieces. Comes with a spring. And so a key detail here is, hopefully you can see this. I'll try to get it really close, but this thing is actually tapered. So the wider part should be at the bottom, and then the same with the spring is tapered as well. So you want to make sure that you put the spring in, fat side, or the fat end goes in first, and then this is going to sit right on top of it. So I'm going to stop for a minute and get that set up so you can see what's happening next. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is, and you can do this with needle nose pliers. I just happen to have these forceps here. We're going to take this piece and we want to get it seated. There's a little place for it to sit right in down there, and I know you can't see a lot of detail, but you get that, there you go. You get that seated in there, and you might want to just kind of get it poked in there with your finger a little bit. And you can feel it when it gets seated. This one actually feels a little crooked. So, okay. I think that may be it. There it goes. Just keep poking at it till you feel it get seated in there. So again, this piece, it's got this flange on this side, and it also has, as you can see, the faucet has these little nibs cut out, and those will line up quite nicely with that. Just push that in there. It's going to take a little force because those are new gaskets. Again, the handle is kind of made hopefully idiot proof. It's got a couple little pieces in there that help you line things up. So we'll put that. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed a piece. Uh-oh, exactly why you want to close the drain. We got to put this collar back on here. Got ahead of myself there. So I always like to acknowledge I'm not perfect, make mistakes, and got to back up. So kind of hand tighten that, and again, I think the adjustable wrench is the easiest thing to use. And you don't have to get this super tight, just obviously snug so it's not slipping. Tighten that on down. I know you're thinking this is the longest video I've ever seen on the simplest project, but you have to be careful and make sure you do things in the right order. It's kind of like measure twice, cut once idea. So get our handle back on here. This is being a little fussy with me here. Okay, let's see. There we go. Just wasn't lining up. There we go. Got that back in. So then it's just simply a matter of getting this screw here back in. And I'll just kind of semi-tighten that. You don't have to hunker down on it. It's just, it doesn't have anything to do with leaks or anything like that. You just want it snug. And then the finishing cap goes back on. And that's it, my friends. You can open your drain, go back under here, turn your water on, and then come back up, and bam, you've done it. And this is This is a Delta faucet, but the same's going to hold true for most faucets. It's going to be all kind of the same principles and pieces and parts. So hopefully that helps you and takes care of your leaks. I'm going to do, I got extra pieces and parts here that I bought. And oh yeah, one last thing. Make sure when you go to get these pieces and parts, go ahead and take your old pieces and parts with you to, you know, Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, whatever, because there are many sizes of these things, and there's some guides to help you match up sizes. This is the old one, and I couldn't find an absolute exact match in terms of the actual height. The width and everything was the same, so I just went with that, and it's as you can see, it's working fine. No leaks, nice and smooth. We're good to go. So hope you enjoyed it. Please comment below if there's anything I could have done different or better. Good luck, guys. Bye.